DICE have just tweeted out gameplay for Hazard Zone dropping into the map when you start a game and exfilling after a victory when you finish the game. Also, we have videos of the attachment menu where you can equip and customize your weapons, and also some big UI changes that have came to Battlefield on the day one release. And of course, 5 brand new specialists we have not seen before in Battlefield have just been announced today. And wow, there is a lot of information to cover in today's video, guys. So much that this might be a long one to cover everything. But guys, stick around. I hope you do enjoy. Drop a like on it if you do. And yeah, let's get straight into it. But hey guys, and welcome. In today's video, I wanted to go over everything that we've received today, from DICE releasing a new trailer going into the 5 new specialists, along with an article which is absolutely jam-packed with new information. Now, this doesn't just go into detail around the specialists, this goes into detail around things like feedback from the beta, what they learnt about the beta, also going into things about performance and why the build of the game was obviously as old as it was. Of course, also going into issues with servers, user interface issues, and they've even showcased videos of going into the map and exfilling after a map, and sort of like the champion screen at the end with your squad and stuff like that. There is so much information to go through today, guys. I hope you guys do have time to stick around, but if not, there are timestamps in the description down below. Go and skip to whichever part of the video that you want to skip to, and whichever part that you want to know about in more detail. There's going to be a lot. Let's get into it. So, starting off with the what we learned in the open beta section. Now, this goes into detail, of course, with the feedback we've given to DICE and Battlefield around the beta, stuff that we didn't really like, stuff that we did like, and things that we thought that would need to be improved and stuff like that. However, just a couple of bits that they've added in, which I'll put on screen right now, and we can have a quick read through it. So, over the past few weeks since the beta, we've shared some limited insights into some of the changes that are coming at launch for the game, relative to the experience you've been playing on Conquest on Orbital. Now, going into some of the things that have been addressed: increase the number of tanks that you'll experience on Orbital. It's up from 4 to 8 on PC, Xbox Series S and PlayStation 5. Made changes to movement, added strafe input to sliding, adding the ability to vault and moving objects, and toning down jump spamming as well, which was a big thing that was one of my complaints as well. A nearby grenade indicator has been added. Thank the Lord. Really glad about that. Entry and exit animations are now shorter. Some have been removed entirely, which is fair enough, because some of them were pointless and really glitchy, and yeah, I'm glad they've done that. And elevators have been fixed so that you see less funky behaviors with the doors. And really cool thing as well that I want to show on screen right now is a heat map. So this was an aerial heat map, which essentially of all the vehicles that were being used on the map, and it showcases essentially where all the vehicles were on the map at most of the time. So as you can see, near the main building in Orbital was where a lot of the vehicles, Ospreys, jets, helicopters and stuff were going to, and where a lot of the action was taking place. So that was really cool. And of course, also you can see a bird's eye view on the map, which was when you were on foot. So this is also a really cool map and indication to show where a lot of the hot spots were as well across Orbital. So again, really interesting as well, and it does make a lot of sense. The next part is really interesting. This goes over the age of the beta and the reason why essentially the version of the beta was as old as it was, and this was the performance part of the article as well. By the way, I'll leave the article in the description if you want to go check it out for yourself, but let's go over this in a bit more detail. We previously talked to you about the age of our open beta build, but haven't talked to you about why it is that you are experiencing something older compared to what we're playing, testing and polishing every day across our studios. In order to ensure that we can have an open beta, we do something called branching, where we identify our most stable build and split it off from our active development branches to receive daily check-ins, new content additions and bug fixes. This took place back in August, where we're in the process of compiling what we have today internally as the complete package of Battlefield 2042. Branching allows us to strip out all the unnecessary systems, content and mechanics that are still under various forms of testing and polish up what you sometimes hear referred to as vertical slice of the game. We work hard to optimize it, stamp out critical bugs and drive for maximum compatibility and performance of unknown hardware. By stripping out other content and systems, we remove potential conflicts that keep things running in the best possible manner. We know that the open beta build would therefore not showcase where we are today with polish and how the game plays, not benefiting from all of the additional work that has been done on the game since we branched in August. In addition to what you've seen today from our first lineup of specialists and many of the updates you can read about and see here, expect more Battlefield 2042 updates over the next coming weeks so that you get a glimpse on the great progress the teams have made. So again, it confirms that the beta date or the build date or the branch was actually within August. It was in fact a 2-month-old build of the game, as it was mentioned the other week by a couple of leakers. Again, 2 months ago, the beta was in this state, it does give them, what, 3-4 months of full polish. Now we've had confirmation today by Tom Henderson that the game has now officially gone gold, and that the Day 0 and Day 1 edition of the game is now complete. So really good sign, really positive. So that, yeah, it definitely reassures me. Part of the article goes into detail around the servers and the issues and some of the things that they encountered during the beta. For example, one of them it mentions here as well was the bot-heavy lobbies, where you'd go into a game and more than half of the lobby was just filled with bots. Not because they couldn't fill the game, but I think because there was more of a configuration issue with bots joining and replacing players or things along those lines. So there were a lot of bot-heavy lobbies, and again, there were some issues with that, and they've addressed that as well. So for when the full game does release, there won't be as many bot-heavy lobbies, and they will only join when they're necessarily needed. There's also a reported issue in the beta where players were connecting into servers outside of their region. So for example, if I'm in the EU, people were connecting to servers within North America or things like that, and vice versa. So there were issues with that. That's now been addressed. So people within Europe will only be put onto European servers. People in America will only be put onto American servers. So again, that's also been addressed. The next part goes into the user interface, some of the changes that the teams over at DICE have made to the user interface in Battlefield 2042. That was one of my biggest complaints about the game as well. It's just, it didn't look anywhere near as good as previous games. Like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5's user interface looked good. It felt good, and it felt like Battlefield. I don't know, this felt okay, but I don't know, I wasn't really gelling with it as well. And especially when you were getting kills, you would only get the notification of, say, a headshot. You only get the feedback from a headshot. There wasn't really that satisfaction you would get from a kill from, let's say, Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5. So they've actually added that into the game now. And on the screen right now, I'm going to obviously show you right now the video they put out there as well around the user interface. And it shows that there's now score when you get a kill. It shows the amount of score you get per action. So if you get a headshot, you get more score than what you would if you got a kill in the chest or the leg, etc. So again, it will show you that sort of score as well. So again, similar to what you would expect in Battlefield anyway. So very good positives on the back of that. But going into the article, it mentions, stepping aside from our review of how the technology of our game performed, let's go into the experience side of the open beta and start talking about the systems that you were interacting with. Our user interface in the open beta wasn't fully representative of the final experience. It was missing some essential components, some of which were disabled to remove debilitating and now resolved bugs, and some of which we chose to continue to focus work on for launch for when we branched in August. Big maps, as we refer to internally, were disabled. Some of you spotted it in the key bindings, and many of you simply expected it based on past behaviors in Battlefield games. We have it in our builds today, and you can see it in action below. So again, map overviews, which we typically see in other games, are there. It just wasn't in this particular branch of the game, rather taken out because of some bug fixes that they need to be done, or things that they just wanted to improve and work on and not really show the public as of yet. So again, it's back, and on screen right now, it fully confirms that. And again, it goes into detail and says you can pull this up at any time in the map by pressing the view/touchpad on consoles or M on PC, and it gives you an immediate overview of the map and the battles taking place, who is captured what objective, etc. And yeah, it's again just similar to what was in previous Battlefields as well, and stuff along those lines. And of course, comros as well, which is essentially the ping system, or things where you can essentially press a button and it asks your teammates around you to give you ammo, to give you med kits, to call in different things, to give you backup, to say thank you, stuff like that. Again, that's also back, and the menu has now been improved. So again, that is on screen right now, a video also of that, and it shows you exactly how that works in today's build. Elsewhere in the UI, let's quickly talk about the heads-up display and the information that's present to you during the minute-to-minute gameplay. We've moved the score events visible on the right-hand side of the screen into its final state centrally beneath the crosshair. It provides you with that more traditional kill confirmed dialogue that affirms you that you've killed, healed, and helped across the experience, and now it's helping you show the rewards you're getting for doing so. But again, they've changed it to the more traditional way of showing that you've got to kill points, etc. within Battlefield. So over the left-hand side of the screen, the kill log is now more readable, with highlighted colours denoting friends or foes killed. Also, a more appropriately sized messaging on the status and sectors and flag capture events. They also go into detail in this article about the colorblind settings, that a lot of them didn't really give the colors that a lot of people were looking for and needed at the time. So a lot of them were a bit problematic, so they've now addressed that, and they've gave essentially full flexibility to choose whichever colors that you want on your different settings through the colorblind settings. So again, really positive change for that as well. Now, going into the juicy stuff, and this is team and squad play. This also goes into detail around the weapon customization and different classes, attachments, and things you can put on in the menus and equip to your weapon wheel as well. For the first 4 to 6 hours in the full game, expect to be working with a reduced array of gadgets for your own gadget slot. You'll journey through the ranks, slowly introducing new ones for your loadout. that traditional experience of a Battlefield game where classes fulfill traditional roles in an experience that you graduate out of through the first 10 levels. Your specialists will have the option to choose from a medical crate, ammo crate, a recoilless M5 launcher, and our repair tool as a starting gadgets, and enable the experience of playing in ways that allow players to feel the benefits of playing in a more supportive role. I do quite like that. Allow the first 10 levels to, again, give you gadgets that support your teammates, and then after that you can go more lone wolf. I do like that, and I'm glad that that's there. Loadouts are fully customizable. In the open beta, we set you up with 4 loadouts that mirror that traditional class structure of Battlefield, which is typically Assault, Medic, Support, and Recon. They'll be there at launch too, for all players as default, but there's actually a much bigger suite of tools available to you to help speed up the act of switching to different setups and let you get right back into the action. Now I'm going to show you guys the clip on screen or a video that they've actually put out there on YouTube, which goes into detail and showcases the actual customization for the classes, and this is exactly what we wanted. I'm really happy that this is there as well. I was a bit worried when we only just got the actual like weapon wheel thing with just those set attachments, but yeah, I'm glad that they've finally got some customization. You can actually amend and change the different attachments on that. So yeah, really happy with that. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Now, going on to the juicy stuff. Now, there's more details around Hazard Zone, how it's going to work, stuff like that. And there's actually a couple of videos to show you guys on how you drop into the map, what happens when you do drop into the map, and what happens when you win the game and then you exfil. So really cool. I want to go into some detail on the articles around Hazard Zone as well. So here we go. In Hazard Zone, we're keeping things tight and deliberate on squad comp. Specialist selection will be unique, and we're not running with duplicates inside the squad. In all-out warfare, we're not using the same restrictions. We've been learning since Battlefield 1942 that our game just isn't fun when you can't play to your strengths, and there's been a lot of iteration done in this area in all our games across the franchise's history. Battlefield 2042, you'll be able to enjoy the freedom of moving between the specialists and loadouts that you need to support the squad, and there are parts of the experience that we have in our builds today that help reinforce that. First, there's our insertion flow. Your squad mates will be shown your player card, where you've got the chance to personalize and flare it and show off your play styles. There's an additional time in pre-round, which was disabled during the open beta, to chat and make further changes to your squad comp so that you're hitting the ground running straight out of the gates. So essentially you can trash talk people in the pre-game lobby. Better still, we're celebrating our strongest team of players at the end of the round in our end of round flow. Again, this didn't make the cut for the open beta, but we expect when the round wraps up, we'll be paying tribute to the best squad players and recognizing the contributions folks made to capturing objectives, reviving fallen teammates, and keeping ammo stocked up. So again, just confirm it, and there's a lot of details in there which again weren't in the beta, which are in the full game. I'm going to play those 2 clips for Hazard Zone in the background now, and this isn't just for Hazard Zone as well to end the round. This is also in actual all-out warfare and Portal as well. So yeah, really interesting to note, but yeah, have a listen. But guys, that's everything for today's video. There's a lot to go through. This video is almost an hour long. We're re-recording this right now, so I'm going to condense it down to as little as possible. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. There's a lot to go through today, so I really appreciate it if any of you guys have got this far. If you've got this far, type down in the comments dog. Just type the word dog and I'll know that you've got this far. But I really appreciate it, guys. Hope you have enjoyed. Drop a like if you have. Really appreciate it, because obviously it took a while to make. Subscribe if you are brand new as well, and ring that notification bell for videos like this to inform you of new details and information coming to Battlefield, and also gameplay when it does finally release, which would be cool. So yeah,